kids in the future, and do you plan to get married anytime soon? And in 2 weeks, like I swear it's literally 2 weeks, I'm not even joking. There's a lot of questions about how did me and Jasper meet? How long do you think you'll stay in your house for, and do you have any plans to move? Welcome back. So for today's video, I thought I would do my first ever Q&A style video. I've never done one of these before. I feel like I've been on YouTube for quite a while now. Like, I think I uploaded my first YouTube video like 5 or 6 years ago, which is absolutely insane. I've been like fully consistent for like the past 2 years, but for some reason I've just never done a Q&A. I feel like part of me was like, does anyone actually care? Like, is anyone actually gonna ask me questions? But I was so shocked. I was just looking at the questions now and I've got way more than I was expecting. So we've got a lot of questions here, but I will try and answer as many questions as I can. But I literally just asked over on my Instagram. I personally love watching these videos, especially if I'm like new to someone's channel, just to like get to know them better. And I feel like because I always just film vlogs, like it's just like my day-to-day life, you never really get to know me fully. So hopefully we'll be spilling all the tea in this video and I can just share a little bit more about myself. So first question I saw was, how old are you and Jasper? So I was only having this conversation with Jasper the other day because this year Jasper's 25. I always imagined when I was younger, by the time that I hit 25, like I'll be married, children. Like 25 used to sound really old to me, but now this year Jasper's 25. So currently Jasper's 24 and I'm 23, so we're like 1 year and 3 months difference between us. I really feel like our 20s are flying by, and I get a little bit nervous, like when I just think about the fact that we're getting older every single day. But anyway, what is your job role? So my job at the moment, I currently work for a digital marketing agency and I make TikTok style content that is used for ads. So basically my role at the moment is like a TikTok content creator. So yeah, that's what I do. I've done a whole video on my channel about it, like a kind of like day in the life and talking through how I got the job. So if you are interested in that, then there's a whole video on it on my channel. There's quite a few moving out questions and things about the house, so I'll answer a few of those now. How long do you think you'll stay in your house for, and do you have any plans to move? So we've been in this house for 2 years, which is absolutely insane. We got it at the end of March 2020, so it was just right at the start of the pandemic, which is insane. So we've been in this house for 2 years, and I never imagined us to be in this house for a super long period of time. The time has literally flown by. Like, I actually cannot believe it's 2 years. I still keep calling it my new house, but it's definitely not new anymore. I also can't really remember what it was like to not live in this house though. Like, I'm so in a routine and so used to it. It's super strange. But yeah, so we lived in this house for 2 years and there are no plans to move anytime soon. I've always wanted to do a house renovation, so hopefully in a couple of years, like that might be something that we could do. I also feel like house renovations are super expensive, but because Jasper is so like good at DIY and super hands-on, and because he's a car mechanic, like his job's quite hands-on as well, so I feel like when it comes to DIY, like he's really good at all that stuff. So I feel like he'd really thrive doing like a house renovation. So maybe at some point in the future, no plans anytime soon, but that would literally be a dream of mine. I always have this thing where I want to move to like a city like London or Manchester or somewhere just a bit more exciting. There's lots of restaurants and like places to eat and drink, just a lot more going on, because where we live is kind of like a small town. How has your life changed since moving out? So it's so weird because I feel like when you live at home and live with your family, like life is definitely easier. Like you don't have to worry about bills, you don't have to, like my mum cooked dinner for me and she did my washing for me. Like you have a lot more time just to do whatever you want. You don't have to worry about anything like that. But I think the thing when you live at home is that you kind of don't have your own routine. Like you do things to fit around your family. For example, like when I lived at home, my mom would cook me dinner that would be ready at 6 o'clock and we'd eat then, whereas now like I can just cook when I'm hungry sort of thing. Like it sounds so stupid, but like little things like that makes such a difference. And I think having your own routine when you move out, and you can just kind of plan your own day, and like if you don't want to empty the dishwasher, you don't have to. Like your mom's not there being like, oh Jess, can you do this? I loved living at home. Like I had the best relationship with my family and it was such a good time of my life. But the amount of freedom you get when you move out to do whatever you want, like if I want to get up at 5 a.m, I'm not gonna have to worry about waking up other people in the house and just like being noisy and things like that. Or like for me, that is the biggest difference. Like if I want to have a shower at 3 a.m. no one's gonna come tell me that I can't, you know what I mean? And I think that's the same for a lot of people. I feel like just having your own place and being able to decorate it the way you want and have total freedom with it, and it's definitely something to look forward to if you are still living at home and don't have your own place yet. Like, it's 100% worth the wait. What's the most challenging thing you have to deal with moving out at a young age? So I don't think I moved out like ridiculously young. I first moved out when I was 20, when me and my boyfriend moved into our first flat. Previously to buying this house, we moved into a flat which we rented for 6 months, and it was to be closer to where I worked because my family home was so far from where I used to work, so I had such a long commute in the morning. So we moved into this flat and we lived there for 6 months. We rented it. It was honestly such a good test of our relationship and how well we lived together, because I feel like I've heard a lot of couples that buy a house together and their relationship ends up falling apart and they realise they can't live together and everything like that. Someone's also mowing the lawn, so I'm sorry if you can hear that. I always felt like me and Jasper would be so good at like living together, but you never really know someone until you live with them. I feel like it's all the little things that you don't realize until you move out that could annoy you about someone. Luckily we were all good and it just made our relationship even stronger. So when it came to buying a house, we already knew that we would be able to like get on and like be fine living together. So yeah, I first moved out when I was 20, so I feel like a lot of people move out sooner than that by going to university and things like that, but I think I was quite young, like buying a house and paying a mortgage and all that stuff. But being honest, I feel like the most challenging thing about the whole process was actually getting a mortgage. Like credit scores, all this kind of stuff, like you never are taught it at school. I'm super privileged that I had my parents there to like help me and guide me through the process, and I know a lot of people don't have that support, so I felt super lucky that I could just ask my parents any questions. We had the most incredible mortgage advisor. He was so good. So I think the most challenging thing was understanding the whole buying a house process. Like, it is very complex. Also, I don't think I said, but if you're new here, Jasper is my boyfriend, which I feel like I never need to say, but I always forget that people are probably like, who even is Jasper? He's my boyfriend. Have you and Jasper got any holidays planned for this year? Yes, so we have one booked in September, which is in Cyprus, and that's actually for a wedding, so that'll be really interesting. I'm super excited for that. And in 2 weeks, like I swear it's literally 2 weeks, I'm not even joking, last week we booked a very spontaneous holiday to Egypt. I've never been to Egypt before. We're going for 10 days, which is absolutely insane. I don't think it's fully sank in that we've actually booked a holiday. I think it's because we literally only just booked it. So usually like when you book a holiday, you book it so far in advance and you have that build up. But since like COVID and everything like that, like I don't feel comfortable booking something like super far in advance just in case it gets cancelled, or you just don't really know what's going to happen, do you? So the last holiday we went on in August, which was to Cyprus, we booked it literally the week before, and this one we booked like 3 weeks before. I feel like I missed the whole like build up. It still doesn't feel like we've even booked something, so we're actually going on holiday so soon. And it's for 10 days, which is going to be so nice. Jasper's been to Egypt before, but I've never been, so we just thought we would go for it. So yeah, very soon there will be more holiday vlogs, which I feel like are my favourite vlogs to film. They are also the vlogs that I love watching back, just to see like the holiday memories. I'm feeling super lucky though, because I've never been on holiday at this time of year. Like I always just used to go like in June or the summer. Whereas this year I've already been to Dubai in January, which obviously was a work trip, but it still felt like a little holiday. And yeah, now I'm going to Egypt. I'm feeling super lucky, but I feel like we're just making up for lost time. Like I hope you guys can all go on holidays this year as well, because we had enough. Like 2020 was just, we just don't want to talk about it when it comes to holidays. Would you want to get a pet or a puppy anytime soon? I have had this conversation with Jasper, my family, like so much, because I would love a dog, like just a cute little dog. Like it'd be so nice, but I feel like at the moment me and Jasper are so free to do whatever we want. Like we have no ties really. Like we can just book a holiday and go on it. Like we don't have to worry about getting someone to look after the dog, and I really value the freedom that we have. How long does it take to mow the lawn? But I feel like I would absolutely love a little dog. Also because I work from home all day every day by myself, like having a little cute dog would be so nice. I actually was looking last year at Romanian dog rescues where you can get a rescue dog, seeing if that was like an option for us, because honestly the price of dogs at the moment is absolutely insane. Like, I haven't looked recently, but when I last looked, it was literally like £2,000 for a dog, which is, I feel like, it's absolutely extortionate. And I also, like, if I was to buy like a puppy, like a new dog, I'm super particular about the places that I would buy it from, because I do not want to feed the industry. I honestly couldn't buy a dog from a breeder or anyone that kind of like is purely in it for the profit and doesn't really care about the dogs. Like, I just feel like that's horrendous. So I was looking at kind of like rescue dogs and everything like that, but I think me and Jasper have come to the decision that it just isn't the right time for us. Like, I feel like we also have the perfect house, like everything feels perfect, but I just think at the moment we want to go on lots of holidays. I feel like having a dog is actually quite a big commitment, so maybe at some point in the future, but for now I feel like we've come to the decision that it's just not quite right for us at the moment. Do you want kids in the future, and do you plan to get married anytime soon? I would absolutely love to get married. Like, it is my dream to have like a nice wedding. Like, I feel like I've always wanted to get married. I feel like most girls do, don't they? And also be engaged, but I don't feel like I want it anytime soon. I see a lot of people my age and slightly older getting engaged and getting married, and I think for me at this point in time, I don't want to rush anything. Me and Jasper have actually been together for 4 years now, which is crazy. Like, it's gone so quickly, but I also can't remember life before him, which is so strange. I feel like maybe in 2 or 3 years, like, it'd be quite nice to get engaged. I feel like if I could plan it perfectly, like the ideal age to get engaged would be like 25, 26. I was still just enjoying this time as like boyfriend and girlfriend. I just love our relationship, how it is and the way that we're doing life. But I mean, I wouldn't say no to a nice ring. And the other part of the question was, do you want kids in the future? And I feel like I do, especially now that I've met Jasper, but all growing up and like all through school, like I could never imagine myself having kids. And even now, like, I can't imagine having children. Like, it seems such a distant thing in the future that is gonna happen probably at some point, but I can't imagine it anytime soon. I feel like now I've met Jasper, and Jasper would really like to have kids as well, that is definitely something that we probably will do in the future. Go-to meal after working a long day. This has to be a stir fry. The stir fry mix you can get from Asda, the noodles, the veg, the sauce, add a bit of chicken in there. It's just like, it takes like 10 minutes to make, and it's honestly the best. There's a lot of questions about how did me and Jasper meet, and I feel like I could do a whole separate relationship Q&A video on this, because there's a lot of stuff in our relationship that I find super interesting. We have such an interesting way we met. But I can kind of, it's quite a long story, but I can kind of give you a brief summary. I always feel slightly, they're still mowing the lawn. I can give you a brief summary, like, of basically how we met. The first time I ever met Jasper was kind of through friends of friends, and it was in a nightclub. I was with someone else at that time. Jasper was in a very long-term relationship. It was never anything like that. We were literally just friends of friends. And that's how I first ever met him. And then fast forward quite a few months, we kept bumping into each other on nights out, and he was no longer with his girlfriend. I was no longer seeing anyone. So we basically met at a nightclub, but there was definitely a longer story and a lot more people involved, and all different things happened with how we got together. I feel like I need Jasper here to explain the full story. The way we met is just, I feel like it was meant to be, in a sense. Like, the way things just happened and how we kept bumping into each other on nights out and just like chatting and like, I don't know, I just feel like it was just meant to be. Whereabouts in England do you live? So I live in Dorset, which is like super south, if you don't know England. But I feel like I always say to Jasper, it takes us so long to get anywhere from where we live. So I definitely would love to live more close to things, like closer to London and places like that. So yeah. Favorite place to eat out? I feel like I don't have a favorite place to go eat out. I mean, if I was getting a takeaway or like an Uber Eats or a Deliveroo, it has to be McDonald's. How did you get into YouTube, and any tips for those who want to start? So I actually want to see when I uploaded my first YouTube video onto my channel. I feel like it is still on my channel. Please don't go watch it, because I don't think I can deal with that. So my first ever video was 5 years ago, on the 2nd of April 2016. So yeah, literally almost 6 years ago, which is absolutely insane. But I was never like super consistent. Like, I'd upload the odd video. When I first started YouTube, I didn't want to tell anyone about it, so I was uploading like videos whilst I was still at sixth form. So I was like 17 or 16, and I just felt so embarrassed because not many people do it. I feel like now everyone kind of does TikTok and things like that. Like, it's less embarrassing, I don't know, maybe it's still like just as like uncomfortable. But yeah, so I didn't tell anyone about it, so I was just like practicing filming, editing, like uploading YouTube videos, and I told no one, and somehow they all came across it in my sixth form. And I remember being at a party and one of the girls being like, I didn't know you did YouTube and like upload YouTube videos. And at this point I literally had like 20 subscribers and I'd get like 1 or 2 views on a video. I feel like when they found out about it and I knew a lot more people were watching me through school, I felt so uncomfortable. So I kind of was like consistent for a bit, but then I'd fall off it, and then I feel like as I started going on nights out and speaking to boys and stuff, I felt like I became even more embarrassed of like uploading onto YouTube and stuff like that. So I kind of just left it for a bit. So I did my A-level results video and a couple of videos after that, and then I just left it for a little bit. And then when we got our first flat, I know I wanted to document it, so I started filming then, and then I became super consistent with my YouTube like 2 years ago. So I've been uploading at least like 1 video every single week. So that is kind of like my YouTube story, to be honest. But tips for starting, I would probably say you just gotta go for it. I'd say one of the biggest tips is filming and editing videos but without putting them anywhere, so you kind of get the practice and you build up that confidence to like film yourself, because it's honestly the strangest thing, like talking to yourself and speaking into a camera, and it's definitely something to get used to. It's definitely something that I'm like just super comfortable with. But I remember like I get hot and sweaty like filming myself because I just feel so uncomfortable. It just comes with time and confidence and practice. I feel like practice is the biggest key to doing YouTube, and I just feel like you gotta go for it. Whenever I feel uncomfortable about something, I just tell myself that we're literally living on a floating rock. So I mean, that helps me, so hopefully that can help you. I've definitely struggled so much with other people's opinions of me and people judging me and things like that. And I think just over time, I've just gotten a lot more confident in myself and just doing things because I enjoy them. And yeah, I think you just have to do what makes you happy and not care about what anyone else thinks of you. And as hard as that is, like, it will just come with time. Having a YouTube channel is honestly the best thing I've ever done. Like, I am so glad I took the plunge and just did it, because it makes me so happy. And even though it's not my job, it's literally just a hobby, I just love it so much. So yeah, this is your sign. If you want to start a YouTube channel, 2022 is your year, and it's never too late. Like, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I feel like this video is gonna be so long if I keep answering questions, so I'm gonna leave that there. But if you guys did enjoy this video, then please give it a thumbs up and also let me know, because I will definitely do more of these kind of like Q&A type videos. Or I always see people do like assumption videos, so if that's kind of something you'd like to see, then yeah, do let me know. Hopefully you got to know me a little bit better from this video as well, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any other videos. It's free to subscribe, so you have no excuses. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a lovely evening, and I shall see you all again very soon. Bye.